Hello everyone. Today we will learn how to control the internal or built-in LED of Node MCU using the controller that we made in the previous video. Okay. Now if you don't know how to control the internal LED of Node MCU manually, then please go and watch our previous videos. Again, if you don't know how to make this controller, watch the previous video so that you can comfortably continue with this video. Okay. So now let's get started. First, I will show you the basic code which is required to connect to NodeMCU's Wi-Fi. Okay, hash include ASP.826's Wi-Fi.h and hash include ASP.826's HTTP client.h are two header files that are required to be imported. Okay, this ASP.826's Wi-Fi is a library which is already pre-installed when you install your board, and if you don't find this library installed, okay, then you can go to manage libraries, search here ESP8266 Wi-Fi. If you don't get it manually, if you don't get it already installed, then you can go and search here and find the library here. But most probably it will be automatically installed when you install the board in your Arduino IDE. I will show you how you can check whether it is installed. Okay, so go to Sketch. Here you can see include library. Scroll down and here you will see ASP8266 Wi-Fi. It means that this library is already installed in your package. Okay. Now const char Wi-Fi name. Here you need to put your Wi-Fi name, and in the password section you need to put your Wi-Fi password. Serial.begin is simply beginning the serial monitor. Wi-Fi.begin, Wi-Fi name, comma Wi-Fi password. This begins the Wi-Fi of Node MCU. Void loop. We are keeping it in void loop section because we want the Wi-Fi to be connected all the time while we are using our program. Okay. Now, if Wi-Fi status is connected, that is, if Wi-Fi is connected, then we will do our actual coding, and if it is not connected, then we will print a message that Wi-Fi is not connected. Okay. So HTTP client HTTP. We have to make an object of HTTP client class. We need to make this object so that we can access a URL. Okay. Now http.begin. Here we will type the URL name from where we are going to get the data to control our LED. Okay. Now this code can be used to control LED, to control fan, to control any machine in any corner of the world. Int http code is equal to http.get. Whenever we are hitting a link on Google or any other browser, we get a response code, which means that if we find that link in the domain, if we find that domain in the server, then we are getting a success code, and if we don't find that domain in the server, then we will get another code. Okay. So if that URL hit is successful, then we will get a code which is greater than 0. And if that URL is not found in the browser, then we will get a code which is less than 0. Okay. Now, if we get a code which is greater than 0, then we will start our actual work of controlling any devices that we want to control. Okay. In string response, we will store the response that we will get from this URL. As far if you remember what I have shown in my previous video, that we make a file called LED here where we get two responses on and off. Okay, so this response will be stored in this string. We are using response is equal to http.getString. This function helps us to get that response which is either on or off in our case to get stored in response. Okay, we are printing the response in serial monitor. Now here we can write our code. Here we can write our code using this response to control the devices, which I will show you further. Okay. Now if HTTP code is not greater than 0, okay, here the if block ends, and if it is less than 0, then we will simply print the HTTP code. Now if the URL doesn't get hits, that is, if the URL is wrong or something, then most of the time the value of this HTTP code will be -1. Now since our work has been completed, we will close the URL. That is, it will our work has been finished. That means we have to end the get process. Okay, we are just giving a if the Wi-Fi is not connected, this is the main if block which is ending here. We will simply print connecting. We have just given a delay of 1000, that is 1 second. It's up to you whether you want to give this delay or not. Okay, now we will get to the actual coding for using which we can control our LED that is connected to the D4 pin of NodeMCU. As you can see, everything is same here. Now, where do you need to make the changes? Here, http.begin. I have given the URL which will help us to fetch the response data. As you can see, here is the URL. Just simply copy and paste it here. Now, one thing, let me clear you out. If you write HTTPS here, your code will not work. Even if you get a HTTPS link from the browser, you have to remove that S and put that link here. Okay. Now, we have stored the response that is on or off in this response variable. Now we are putting a simple if statement. If response is equal to on, we will switch on our LED. Okay. Now don't get confused because LED comma 0, we are putting here 0 because it is connected to D4 pin. Go and watch the previous video where I have explained that the inbuilt LED is connected to D4 pin with a NOT gate. That is, if we put here 0, then the LED will turn on, and when we put here 1, the LED will turn off. Okay. So now if response is equal to on, we have switched on the LED, else we will switch off the LED. Okay. So where we have made the changes, we have put a link here in http.begin. We have stored the response in the string. We have not made any changes here. And after the serial.println response, we have written our actual code to control the device, be it LED or be it any other device. Okay. You don't need to make any other changes. Fine. Now, if you want to control many devices using different links, okay, simply copy paste this whole thing again within the main if block up to HTTP end, copy paste it and just change the variable names. Like you can do it HTTP1 here again. Okay, just you have to change the variable names, nothing else. And then you can control different devices using different websites or controller. Okay, so we will now upload this to our NodeMCU. So our code has now been uploaded. Fine. Let me make sure one thing, that this is simply a macro. Okay, because we are connecting, we are using the LED which is connected to D4, and the pin mode LED comma output is a pin mode which I have explained in the previous videos. So to get full clarity about how these things works, watch the previous videos where I have taught you all the basics about NodeMCU. You need to obviously give Wi-Fi name and password to which you want to connect your NodeMCU. Okay. So now let's check how it's working. We'll open our controller. And now see, since the value here is off, your LED is not blinking. Rather, your LED is switched off. Now we will turn on the LED. We'll turn it on, and the LED will turn on. Okay. Now we are turning it off, and the LED turns off. Okay. So this is the basic code using which you can control any devices which you want to control using NodeMCU sitting in any corner of the world. What you need is simply a basic Wi-Fi connection and go through the videos and make your own controller. In every possible way, you can control any devices sitting anywhere in the world. Okay. And don't worry, I will provide all the codes in the description box. You can simply take the codes from there and edit as however you want to edit it. So keep on coding.